At first glance, comparing Obito and Madara seems pointless. Everyone understands that the older Uchiha surpasses his younger counterpart with every new form he acquires. However, there was a moment in the story when these two characters came extremely close to each other in terms of power. I'm talking about the Fourth Great Ninja War, more specifically, the reunion of Obito and Madara. This is a what-if scenario. And today we have some extremely interesting subjects. By tradition, I ask you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more Naruto-related content. Enjoy watching. So, Madara arrives to confront Obito. He knows that the man in the mask now, without the mask, has betrayed him. Obito, in turn, feels no particular affection for Madara and considers him a threat to the Eye of the Moon plan. A conflict between the Uchiha is inevitable. Before we begin, I need to make several disclaimers so that this fight can even take place. First, I will not take Black Zetsu or his influence on the plot into account. Let's assume he was busy elsewhere. Second, the main protagonists will not interfere. Third, I exclude the cursed seal on Obito's heart. Let's assume he removed it beforehand. Fourth, since both Uchiha wielded a gunbai, let's say the legendary balalaika goes to no one. Now, I'll explain why I consider Obito with the Rinnegan and Edo Tensei Madara to be such interesting opponents. Both are extremely skilled in taijutsu, strong and fast. Both possess the Sharingan and its basic abilities. Both are sensory-type ninja. Both wield powerful fire-style techniques and possess Hashirama cells, granting access to wood style. Both have Mangekyo Sharingan and the Rinnegan, with access to the abilities of the Six Paths. Both are technically invulnerable. Obito thanks to Kamui, and Madara thanks to his immortal Edo Tensei body. As you can see, they share many similarities. So, with your permission, I'll skip the stage where they exchange similar techniques in battle. There's simply no point. In many aspects, Obito and Madara are equal at this point in the story. Let's move straight to the differences. Let's start with Obito. His main trump card is Kamui, his signature technique, and this is what he will rely on. Other abilities aren't so straightforward. Obito cannot use Izanagi, because doing so would cost him his only Mangekyo and permanently deprive him of Kamui, the very foundation of his fighting style. A fire barrier won't help either, since Madara can absorb it with Gakido. I'll intentionally leave out some other techniques for now, to discuss them in the next section. Now for Madara. His perfect Susanoo is absolutely useless against an intangible opponent. The same goes for meteors, and that's basically it for now. Let's move on to the most interesting part, the winning strategies of both characters. It's time to analyze how Obito or Madara could defeat one another. We'll go from the least likely scenarios to the most plausible ones, starting with Obito. On Obito's side is the Gedo Mazo. I remind you that Madara, while possessing a fake Rinnegan, cannot summon the statue. The Gedo Mazo has chakra chains, and under a very generous interpretation, Obito might try to shove Madara into the statue. But realistically, this wouldn't work. The statue is meant to seal Tailed Beast chakra, and it likely wouldn't accept a human like Madara. So we move on. Next option, Kamui. In this case, Obito wouldn't kill Madara, but he would still win, though it's a strange kind of victory. If he sends Madara on a permanent tour of his personal dimension, Madara would be unable to return. However, this method carries serious risks. First, Madara won't just stand still and wait to be sucked in, and catching him off guard is difficult. Even though the Kamui dimension is vast, Madara would still be able to locate Obito the next time he enters it, and he will enter it, because Obito's fighting style is unthinkable without Kamui. Madara is a sensor. He will immediately feel his opponent's return and strike hard. Essentially, letting such a dangerous enemy into your personal dimension is an enormous risk, and Obito would be unlikely to take it. Another option is the Black Rods. Let's call them Kuroibo. As we've seen in the story, Kuroibo are extremely effective against resurrected enemies. But rods alone are not enough. And here we come to Obito's main trump card, Ninjendo, the Rinnegan ability to rip out souls. If Obito can't seal Madara, he can absolutely extract his soul. For an Edo Tensei resurrection, losing one's soul equals instant defeat. So I believe Obito's best strategy is a combination of Kamui, Kuroibo, and Ningendo. Step 1. Distract Madara and catch him off guard by appearing in an unexpected location. Step 2. Impale him with rods so thoroughly that he can neither defend nor dodge. Step 3. Extract the immobilized Madara's soul. Skipping the second step isn't really an option, because soul extraction isn't instantaneous, and Madara's reflexes would allow him to react. First, he needs to be restrained, but let's not rush ahead and give Madara his chance to shine. First, I'll note that Madara also has Ningendo and Kuroibo, but I don't consider this strategy convenient for him, because he has to deal with Kamui. Incidentally, Kamui is tied to Madara's first real trump card, but we'll get to that shortly. Before that, let's discuss another technique, potentially dangerous to Obito, the pollen from Madara's flowering trees. If Obito inhales it, he will begin to weaken. This is a powerful and often underestimated technique. However, Obito has two ways to counter it. First, he can hide underground and re-emerge outside the affected area. Second, he can summon the Gedo Mazo and stand atop its head at such a height the pollen is unlikely to reach him. So I can't consider this technique an absolute win condition. Now, back to Kamui. I'm convinced that Madara knows everything about this technique. It was literally born before his eyes. He studied Obito thoroughly. Who else would know about the 5-minute time limit and the necessity of becoming tangible to attack or transfer dimensions? With this knowledge, Madara will create numerous wood-style clones that constantly pressure Obito. If Obito tries to attack, he must become tangible and immediately gets hit by one of the clones. The Gedo Mazo won't help, because Madara can serve it an exquisite Susanoo dish. After 5 minutes of constant pressure, Obito will be forced to materialize, and then anything can come into play, those same Kuroibo, for example, just to be safe. Obito also can't simply retreat to his dimension mid-fight, because that again requires becoming tangible. So here's how I see this battle. Obito disappears from Madara's sight to suddenly appear behind him and attempt the Kuroibo plus Ningendo combo. But Madara has already created clones, and Obito cannot materialize for the attack without being immediately struck. The clones prevent him from acting freely. Some of them even have Susanoo, in case the Gedo Mazo appears. Catching Madara off guard is extremely unlikely. First, the clones. Second, Madara knows Kamui's fighting style and will expect such an attack. Third, sensory abilities. Obito's chakra disappears from one spot and reappears in another, and Madara will know exactly where. Fourth, the rods themselves can be knocked away with a quick Susanoo motion, as shown when Madara deflected Tobirama's extremely fast needle. Fifth, and this is something I recently noticed, some people severely downplay Edo Madara's speed, almost treating him like a nobody. This is the same Madara who reacted to A and Tsunade's simultaneous teleportation, dodged Mei's attacks, and blocked the Raikage in his lightning cloak. As for the difference between living Madara and Edo Madara, it's still poorly explored. The main differences are that Edo Madara couldn't summon the Gedo Mazo with a fake Rinnegan, couldn't become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, couldn't break Hashirama's gates while sealed, and couldn't use Limbo. There is no clear indication that Edo Madara is significantly slower than his living self. Also, Madara can always cover the battlefield with pollen to complicate things. And the moment Obito makes a mistake, even for a split second, the decisive blow will land. Essentially, this victory condition is the same one I described in my video about Obito versus Pain. If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out. And if that's not enough, I have another scenario again, inspired by that Pain video. As you may remember, gravity affects Obito even while he's intangible. During Konan's ocean trap, he was clearly falling. Madara possesses Chibaku Tensei. Put 2 and 2 together, Obito will definitely be pulled in. If he tries to escape into Kamui, he must become tangible for a moment. And just like in the Konan situation, Madara, carried by the wings of love of Susanoo, will not let the traitor escape unpunished. While Obito is being dragged toward the sphere, Madara will ensure he doesn't get away, attempting to phase out risks, taking a Susanoo sword strike, one that sliced through mountains. Yes, the sword could also cut through Chibaku Tensei. But by then, the sphere would no longer be necessary. Obito would already be dust. If Obito doesn't try to escape, he will be pulled in, and once the 5-minute limit expires, crushed by stone. Flashbacks from the Third Shinobi War, indeed. The only way out is Izanagi, but I already said that Obito would rather die than lose Kamui. And even if he sacrifices an eye and revives, Madara's sensory abilities would immediately track him down and finish him off. And Obito, without intangibility? No surprise, resurrection from behind Madara is a sensor and knows Izanagi, so he'd be expecting it. You might say, this is obvious Madara solos. Maybe, but I still believe comparing these specific versions of the characters is interesting. Obito with the Rinnegan is often underestimated and very unfairly. In many ways, he caught up to Madara. In many ways, but not in all. If you disagree with anything, my comments are always open. Thanks for watching. Now imagine Zetsu comes back like, what the hell happened here? And Naruto goes, dude, you wouldn't believe it.